You guys may remember us a year ago with our podcast, Geek Responsibly. Guess what? We're back. My name's Jenna.
My name's Bridget.
And
it's the end of the fucking year.
We decided to start this again.
Yeah. We had the podcast. It ran for
a year?
A whole year?
Maybe.
It was 1 year. And then this bitch blew up on Twitch. Yes.
No.
Yeah. So she went up. She's like, I gotta do this one on Twitch.
I can be a star.
Yeah. So she was blown up on Twitch, and I was like, girl, fly. So your career was taken off on Twitch, and then life was cray-cray. And then next thing you know, COVID happened. And next thing you know, we're December 2020. We're like, hey, let's start another podcast with literally a couple days left in the year to do this all over again. So we're here and we're excited.
Yes, and excited that you guys are hopefully coming and joining us on this journey. But since we did Geek Responsibly, I feel like we have grown.
Yes.
And
so much
life has changed.
So much has happened.
Which we'll do an update and bring you guys in where we've been and what we've been doing.
Especially during this 2020, which has been a crazy year for everybody. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the, hey, we're back, and let's fucking talk about it.
Let's do this! So, to start, we can talk about...
How was your 2020 thus far? Because, again, we're recording this on December 23rd, days before Christmas. How was your 2020? How did you survive thus far? What happened to you, baby girl?
I have not really survived. So February came, March, everybody was sent home for work for GoDaddy.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? This is my year. I've been wanting to work from home forever.
Yep.
I had a schedule. I had a planner that I put everything in. It was literally like work and then walk my dog and then go do my podcast.
By the minutes. Because, like, by the way, because you are always like shooting for the stars. I know what I need. This is what I gotta do. And I was like, can I see your thing? And it's like 1:30 this, 2 o'clock this, 2:30 this. And I'm like, holy shit. But you were like thriving on organization. And I'm just like, how does that work?
Yeah. And I was doing great. So I literally was like, I'm going to get my body in shape. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to be great. I'm going to like rocket my YouTube channel. I'm going to do great in streaming. These are the things I'm going to do. And then I think April came around and I was like, I hit a wall.
You just were done?
Yeah, I was like, I'm done with everything. I was still doing things and I was still trying to like chuck along, but I was seriously dying. And then I got to September, October, and I was like, I just need a break. Then I was getting to the point where I was like always at work in this room and I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So I didn't even want to like stream or YouTube or anything because I'm always in this room. So I just would
not do anything.
Like read
and
maybe walk.
You know what's crazy too is like, so what we hit March, I had left my job because I was like, I'm done doing this photography thing. So I've been doing it for like a decade. And I was like, I was leaving the business. I found a way to finish this stuff and switch careers. So I started working at the bakery and I did that last September. And then we get to March, shit hits the fan. Half the team gets let go. It's one of the people who got let go. And I have not been unemployed for probably over a decade. So like the first week was really fucking hard because I'm like, what do I do with my life? And I just kind of curled in a ball and cried in my bed.
But I was like, you have been given such an awesome gift.
I know, but I was such a nightmare. I was a nightmare. And I remember going up to Flagstaff and I found a bottle of wine it was like a Game of Thrones theme. And it said, your watch has ended. And I was like, oh my God, this is so lethargic. Like, this is literally what my life is. And I texted everyone at the bakery. I'm like, my watch has ended. Like, that's it. But yeah, it was like a couple months of like, what the fuck do I do with my life?
Yep.
We were brainstorming and I was like, all right, I'm going to start my own photography business, which I did. So that's happening. And then I also got like another job. So that, again, too much work, but that's what I'm doing right now. And the summer was kind of also like, even though a lot of stuff was going, I also was like, yeah, I want to do stuff, but I don't. So that was kind of like my summer. I'm like, and then like weird, we didn't really talk that much. Because I think like everyone in 2020 was like fucking shut down. Yeah. I feel like we texted one, I'm like, you good, girl? And you're like, yeah, we're good. But like, that was it. We would just be like, it's like, you're both drowning.
We're here.
It's like, we're both drowning, and you just raise your hand above the water. And like, how you doing? You're like, bah.
The neighbor that looks over the fence.
Yeah.
You good, neighbor?
Still breathing?
Yeah. We're here.
So like, that all happens. And then by the time I get to fall, it's kind of like, can this 2020 be over? And that's kind of where I was at. So, yeah. So then, how has your... Oh, I guess I should talk about it, huh? Oh, yeah. Fuck it. Who cares? The other thing that happened, so quit my job, got a new job, got divorced. Hey, if you guys didn't know, that happened. Life happens. Oh, well. And then we get... I'll just skip over that. That was it. And then we go into the fall. And now we're in this weird funk of the fall where it's like you want 2020 to be over, and it's been going really slow, and now we're almost to Christmas, so it's
like, going really fast.
Really fast.
Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, 2020 was supposed to be my year, and then all of a sudden 2020 is coming around, and I'm like, what did I fucking do?
Nothing. Survived. You survived. You fucking survived. Anyone who survived through this, 2020 was your year. You made it.
Congratulations!
Fucking slid in sideways. You're like, and clock it.
Safe.
Counts. This one counted. God. Insane.
Yeah, I remember when people were all upset that they were having a COVID birthday. Oh, and I was like, haha, I'm in September. That means I'll be able to...
over by then.
Yeah, it'll be over. And then September hit, and I was like, oh, we're still doing this. And now December.
Oh, yeah. And speaking, because we're talking about 2020 and letting everyone else know, we are being completely safe. We don't see anybody.
Yeah, we don't do anything.
So, like, yeah. So pretty much it's like I see her and then I'm home. That's fucking it. Yep. So if anyone's like, oh my God, they're close to each other. I'm like, that's because we don't go anywhere.
Actually, I already tested her at the front door.
I actually got tested anyway. So negative in case any of you were looking, thinking, hoping. I don't know. It's fine. We're good. I don't need the mask because we literally... This is the inner circle. We practically live together. So it's fine. Yeah. In case the comments below, we're fine. We practically live together. It's good. Don't worry about it.
We're actually planning in 2021 to build a commune.
Oh my God.
And live together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to happen anyway.
We need horses, goats, chickens, and pigs.
I will totally get chickens. Pigs are going to stink real bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the chickens, eggs.
Yes. Yes. And one cow.
Why cows?
I don't know. They're cute.
Oh my God.
At least a horse. Because I would like to ride on a horse.
They're really tall.
Yeah.
Horses are really big.
Yeah.
I tried to like ride one as an adult. Like I did trade once for like an engagement session. I'm like, I really want to be able to ride the horse after. And then it was there and I freaked out and I couldn't do it.
Yep. No, they're terrifying.
Way bigger than I remember. Shut up. Anyway.
We'll just disregard that. So, moving along, I'm glad that our 2020 is coming to an end.
Thank God.
I believe 2021 is going to be our year.
Mm-hmm. I'm so happy for us that's what's like 20. The clock is gonna strike midnight and it's all gonna be good.
So it's so funny that you bring that up because honestly, people keep saying that. Oh, I can't wait till 2020's over. How do you know 2021 is gonna freaking change at all? Like it's literally gonna be the same thing. I feel.
But I feel like even though we've gone through some shit, there's been a lot of good things that came out of 2020. Like, I mean, with the COVID and stuff shutting down, lots of changes for everybody, but it hasn't necessarily all been bad, especially towards the very end of 2020. So there's that too. That was my lead in.
Well, we'll just get to the point of why we are here.
Yes.
And why we are deciding to create this Geek Responsibly episode or series.
Spin-off?
I would say series. A Geek Responsibly series.
Exclusive.
and it's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
So essentially, we can talk about why we're here in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is Mommy Sellout.
Yeah.
So
Pause for dramatic effect.
Dun dun dun.
Let me say it again.
Mommy Sellout.
Mommy Sellout.
Weird. Why would we be talking about Mommy Sellout?
I don't know.
So when I first met Bridget, we were wee lads, and
oh yes,
we were very young and both in relationships, and I even told her I would never have children.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm way too selfish. I love video games. I love being independent. I love doing my own thing. Oh my God, why would you have kids?
And we bonded on that because we both, I remember we talked about poop, obviously, you guys know that.
Yep.
But we also bonded over our shared, I guess, values when it came to children. Like, we're just like, yeah, I just don't see it in the cards. I had been married for over forever. So it just, like, wasn't going to happen.
At the time, it was only a year, but whatever.
But who's counting? Making me seem way older than I am. Anyway. But we both, like, bonded over that. So, essentially, we wanted to make Mommy Sellout because dun, 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 dun. One of us is pregnant. Guess what?
I fucked up.
I was like, guess which one?
Yes. I'm pregnant.
Yay! Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov. So, yeah. So, this is essentially the birth brainchild. We were talking about it because she gets pregnant. She tells me you're going to have to tell the whole story.
Yes, now I will. So essentially, again, I wasn't fond of having children when I was growing up, which we'll get to because I think there's reasons why I had this stipulation or like stigma around pregnancy, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
But then at the same time, once I started dating Steve, I was like, oh my God, I could have all of your babies. Which
she said like a few days into it.
Yeah. Like meeting him and seeing him, I was just like,
and I was like, you're not, yes. And I'm like, you're not serious.
Yes. So 3 years go by and we've been together for that long. We're engaged. And then I was like, you know, I'm turning 34 this year.
Girl, brave.
We got to do it now or never. He was really gung-ho about children as well when we first started dating. Too. But
didn't he,
through COVID...
He like told you that in day one. He's like, I want to put a baby in you. Day one. Because I remember you telling me this, and I was like, wow, he's serious.
Yeah. So we both had the same feelings. And then as you continue the relationship, but like once like all this stuff with COVID happened, seeing like what has happened in the world too, it's really terrifying to think of like how your childhood was compared to what maybe your child would experience growing up.
Yeah.
And we were both kind of like, you know, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. But if it does happen, we're okay. Yeah. So it wasn't like a yes, let's freaking do it. And we got to try everything under the sun, even IVF. Or it was like not a like, no, we're not doing it.
But for me, and we'll talk about this a little bit later too, but that is a big transition from where we were in our early 20s.
Yes, because early 20s, it was like a solid no. Yeah. Like, I'm not having kids.
Hard pass. Yeah.
Like, I was on birth control since forever.
Yeah. Hard pass. Definitely not in the cards for me. But I cannot tell you the squealing that happened after I got off the phone and she told me that she was pregnant. And I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
I'm excited. Which is crazy.
Yes, which we'll get to as well. Moving
so
forward.
Much to cover.
So, I know, so many episodes which will happen throughout this whole pregnancy because it's already been a roller coaster and super awesome.
Which is also why we wanted to make the podcast to kind of go over your personal journey with it. So then it's also your experience kind of going from the whole process of it, because I've never been pregnant, which is why I'm like vicariously like, oh my God, like I'm like, I'll text her, I'm like, how's our baby?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I think I may have like did something to it. But we'll take it back to what we felt like going through school and hearing about pregnancy, because I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
I was in a small town. Like, it was a pretty decent sized city in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And and when you're growing up, they literally are like, well, and I also went to a Catholic school. So, like, even more so, they were like, don't have sex before marriage.
Yep.
No pregnancy. Don't do this. Don't do that. So, like, for years, I was terrified of, sex. And then also what happens if I have a baby. And then there's all of that entertainment where it's like movies, TV shows of all these teenage pregnancies.
Yes.
That they're like, bad, bad, bad. Oh my God, shun her. She's pregnant.
Yeah. I feel like the scariest thing growing up was the fact that my mom would be like, if you get pregnant, you're keeping it. And that was a terrifying notion. And I do feel like that affected me for a long time, because then it's like when you're pregnant, then you sit there and really consider like, oh my God, it's there for.
Yes. Which transitions into our thinking of end of life.
Yeah.
Like, you think your life ended because you have a kid, from what like parents, society, school tell you.
Yeah.
They're like, if you have a kid,
terrifying,
your life is ended.
Well, and I remember, and it's crazy because like when she told me, I was so ecstatic. But I remember growing up and being younger that I was terrified of like having to take a test at all, and being afraid that if you did, you'd be the one crying in a not good way.
Yeah.
Like you weren't happy about it. But that's probably from the after school stuff that you see all the time, where it's like, oh, Brittany's upset. like I was really.
They hold it and then they're like, oh man, I'm pregnant, and then they cry, and then they have to tell their parents.
My life's over. My life's over. I have to take cosmetology in high school and only work and go to school half days. I'm not being a dick about it, but
true.
It is true. A lot of the girls that I knew in high school who were pregnant, that's what they did because you had to. So yeah, it was a terrifying idea, which is why we wanted to make the podcast, because when you told me about it, we are night and day from how we were thinking.
Yes.
And
there was still some
crazy
thinking of, oh my gosh, my life is over.
Yeah. Which I think is absolutely normal for everybody.
And I think it's more so my life is changing and my views and values are changing. And so that also scares me, because I'm like kind of holding back and like, oh my God, please don't drag me in. Oh, I'm already too far.
and that's the thing. So like doing this and talking about it, it's also because we've had conversations, and this is why we want to record them, is I do believe that a lot of people have these conversations, talk about being scared while still pregnant and worried about, like, you're excited but you're terrified. But I don't know how often we actually hear these out loud, and or these are just talked about behind closed doors. So that's why we wanted to talk about it. It's like, you're going through it, I'm vicariously going through it as we go week by week, going through the emotions and the things that you go through that we don't normally hear people talk about. I mean, I never did, but I do feel like there's that thing is when you are pregnant, you start seeing that stuff, like belly dancing, like, because when you start belly dancing, we see it everywhere. It's a whole underground thing, and I do believe that this is kind of that thing, because she tells me all this weird shit that I didn't know about.
Well, and I didn't know about it.
That I can't now unknow.
Which we'll totally bring to the surface here in Mommy Sellout.
Yeah. So if you're pregnant or wanting to be pregnant or just curious, we're going to say all kinds of shit.
Yes. Or if you just want to go along with my journey and see how I'm doing and where I'm at, you're more than welcome to come join me. I will be putting blog posts up on geekresponsibly.com. It'll be under the blog section under Mommy Sellout. So I will be talking about like when I first found out and feelings that I feel throughout. I'm trying to be consistent, but currently I've been sick most of this pregnancy already. So I have not lied that I've been sick, but it's just not COVID.
She's just being strategic.
It was other things.
Yeah.
But yes, that's essentially what we wanting to cover is like what Bridget said. Things that I didn't know were part of pregnancy, things that I'm learning as I'm going, things that I need to get ready for, like things you wouldn't even know to bring to the hospital the day of, like all these things. People tell you, it's literally like what she said with belly dancing. Like, I tell people I'm pregnant, and all of a sudden, all these people come out of the woodwork and are like, "Oh my God, have you had this yet?" I'm like, "What the fuck is that?"
You're in the
and
club.
Like, oh, have you noticed this yet? Oh my God, did you know that this happens? And I'm like, now I'm fucking terrified that my nipples are gonna leak in the middle of the stores while I'm walking, and like,
and I'm just along for the fucking ride. That's the thing.
So are you guys.
Yeah, if you guys want to join us, that's where we're at. I'm here to be like, I'm like the hype man of your pregnancy. What? Like, I'm here to just fucking hype it and be like, so what happened this week? What horrible things have you gone through?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited that we're doing this.
Me too. So, that's the end of the first episode. So, hopefully you guys aren't scared away. I appreciate you, and I'm really excited that I get to have you come join me on my journey.
It's so nice to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
I guess we'll call it the studio.
It's
so
way
nice.
nicer than the one that we previously had.
Yeah,
in the dungeon.
Now we're not in a dungeon, which is nice.
Yes, I'm nesting in this area. God. All right. Always remember to geek responsibly. Wear a condom.